Hello, everybody. Welcome to today's webinar on how to reach starved leads and customers with Constant Contact. Thanks for joining us today. My name is Amanda Goyette. I'm an admin assistant here at AERA, and I will be moderating today's event with my colleague, Rob Monroe.
Hey, everyone. Yeah, Rob Monroe here. I look after membership and technical development over here at AERA. Also want to mention to our members that take advantage of our corporate partners. So, for example, Constant Contact, like who's on today, they're one of our corporate partners. There are things, you can do rental car discounts, there's freight discounts, credit card processing discounts. For more information, you can go to our website and read about, and that's just some of your member benefits that you can take advantage of. So have a look at that and take advantage of that. Another thing, for those of you that are receiving Engine Professional magazine, you're going to get our second quarter is just over at the printers now, so it's on its way, and you'll have it in your mailbox here in a couple weeks. If you can't wait, if you go over to engineprofessional.com, you will see the digital version there, so you can take advantage of that and read our latest copy there. All right, well, enough chit chat out of me. We're going to bring on Matthew Montoya from Constant Contact. And Matthew's the Senior Channel Marketing Manager for Constant Contact, and he is a pro at this stuff. He's helped over 14,000 small businesses and nonprofits better understand how digital marketing can affect growth, and what utilizes best practices, which can affect, of course, the bottom line. Matthew, for his 21 years, he's worked at nearly every kind of marketing vehicle around. He's done print, broadcast, social, web, and of course, email marketing, which is what we're focusing on today. So Matthew's kind of seen it all. He's had a role in it all, and looking forward to today's presentation. Email marketing is something that our shops really should be taking advantage of, and Matthew's going to show you how to do that and how to get started. So if you got any questions for Matthew, make sure to put them in those questions box. We'll get those answered at the end, and we'll get them over to him. So Matthew, how are things going today?
Going well, Rob. Thanks for having me today. Do I get to be entered into the sweepstakes?
Well, no, that would be unfair, but we'll keep it fair.
I would have an application for whatever the prize is. Well, thanks for having me, Rob, and you did such a great job with my biography. I won't even go through anymore who I am. I'm going to, this will be one of the 2 times I have my camera on, just because I know some people have bandwidth constrictions and don't want to have the video eat up your Wi-Fi bandwidth. So I'm going to go ahead and go off camera here. But do know I'm a real person. I'm really talking to you today. And Rob, am I ready to go here?
It looks good. Yep, you're ready to go.
All right. Well, thanks for having me, everybody. Let's just talk a little bit about Constant Contact in case you're unfamiliar with us. Constant Contact has been in business for 26 years. And if I were able to ask you what Constant Contact does, and Rob kind of gave away the store there a second ago, it's email marketing, right? We've been doing email, we invented this space, email marketing as a software solution 26 years ago, but we are much more than email. I'm going to touch on that a little bit, but the main thing is we have the tools to help you be successful. And we were having a little chit chat before today's presentation, and some of you may not be marketing savvy. That's all right. Today's presentation's meant for you. If you are marketing savvy, that's okay. Today's presentation is meant for you. Those of you that have been doing email marketing in the past or currently, I guarantee you're going to pick up some tips. And if you haven't done it, I'm going to explain to you why you want to pay attention to email marketing to help you grow. But we don't end our education with this webinar. Constant Contact has built its name and its reputation because we have fantastic US-based customer support. And this support is available to you nearly 24/7, and they will help you certainly with technical questions, but they will also help you with marketing questions. And so if something you see today piques your interest, if you want a reminder on something that I said, they'll be able to help you do that, but they'll be able to help you do much more for no extra cost. That's included in Constant Contact, and it's in the top right-hand page of every page of Constant Contact. So what will we be going through? Well, we're going to be talking a bit about why email marketing. So that was my only pitch on why Constant Contact, technically. But we'll be talking about why email marketing in the first place. Then we'll talk about email marketing and how to conquer those short attention spans. What I'm going to make the case on is I'm going to bring you into this in a way that, to make you really think about how you're consuming information. And believe it or not, prospects and customers are doing that too. We'll talk about how to get them to open the email, which is around subject lines. Then I'm going to give you some ideas on how to grow your list. Your email marketing list is one of the most valuable things you own, and it's one of the most valuable things that you can grow. I'll explain why, and then I'm going to show you some tools within Constant Contact that can help you do that. We'll talk a little bit about giving you some more time back. So you shouldn't be doing things, marketing initiatives by hand. You should be leveraging automation so you can get back to the shop floor and let the computer do all the hard work. Well, I'll talk a little bit on how you can leverage that. And then I'm going to do my best to wedge in a quick demo in Constant Contact, because I always like to actually show the product off. Keep your questions coming in. Rob and Amanda are here to answer, to collate them for me. We have a Q&A at the end. So let's talk about why email marketing is critical for a balanced strategy. Well, I said it before, every contact is really important. If you have a collection of email contacts and you've not been using them, well, firstly, those email contacts are getting dated. Like the longer, between the time you got somebody's email address and the time you use it, the average lifespan of an email address is only about 2 years. So if you've never done it and you have email addresses in your computer that are older than 2, you're already missing the boat a little bit. But let's really break this down, because of anything I share today, whether you use Constant Contact or not, please take this part to heart, all right? Email contacts, when they give you their contact information, now there's a couple of different ways you may have collected contact information. Certainly if somebody has come into the shop and had work done or bought something from you, you've probably collected their contact information. If you haven't, you should. But somebody might have gotten a business card, they might have seen a flyer, handout, billboard, trade show, something like that. So they know you, right? They to give you their email address, they have to know of you in some way, know what you do, know what you offer, right? That's really critical. That's very different. Let's just take print for a second. I cut my teeth in print. I love print. There's nothing wrong with it. But they don't necessarily know you in the sense of, like, if they're just looking at an ad. But if somebody gives you their email address, that's a commitment. And that's the first yes potentially in a relationship with somebody. And I use that word purposefully, relationship, right? We want somebody to buy from us. We want somebody to buy again from us. We want somebody to refer us. And so this is a relationship. And to be effective at email marketing, you really got to need to think of it as a relationship. And you're in a really great market for that, because you don't only want to be marketing services and product. All of you probably have a lot of education that you can pass on to people that are interested in what you do and what you service, right? And so to get somebody to refer, to get somebody to come back, to get somebody to come in the first place, we have to build a relationship. And it may be that first yes in your relationship. Getting somebody to give you their email address may be critical. The idea behind this is that you're already selling them. By them giving you their contact information, you're already in the process of selling them something. Their mindset is different than a cold customer, a cold lead, somebody looking at a print ad, somebody watching TV. You don't even know if they're really that interested in you, or even if they viewed it, right? You don't know if they looked at a billboard, right? This is an active relationship, and that's what makes it so critical. And so that's why I'm sounding so passionate about this, because if you have contacts that you've never sent email marketing to, when I say contacts, I mean people's email addresses that you've never sent to, use Constant Contact, use something else. But most important is, I want you to grow your business. I prefer to use Constant Contact, but grow your business, because those contacts are valuable. Another reason why email marketing is valuable is because it pays. This is one of the best, what's called ROIs, return on your investments, you'll see in marketing. $36 for every dollar you sent. Constant Contact, you already saw there when they talked about your member benefits page, you get a discount. So you're talking around somewhere around $9 a month. So we're not talking about a very expensive product. Get $36 for every dollar you spend. And looking over the members page and seeing the kind of price points that I saw, I don't think it would take you very long to recover the cost of something like Constant Contact. You also get more people to actually interact with you. So one of the biggest benefits to using a tool like Constant Contact, and now I can't see you, I don't know you, all right? Maybe you're using Gmail. Maybe you're using Outlook. You're sending out some messages that way. Well, that's not trackable. You don't know who opened it. You don't know who clicked it. So I inferred it just a moment ago when I talked about billboards, when I talked about truck wraps, when I talked about signage and TV ads, radio, whatever you're doing. It's hard to quantify the money you're spending in that kind of space, because you don't know that they watched it. Sure, the television station will say they watched it. Sure, the paper will say that they picked up the paper, but you don't know. A tool like Constant Contact tells you who opened your emails and specifically what product, what service, what education they found valuable. That's where the money lies. That's where you make money at this, because knowing a particular engine that somebody clicked on is tied to a particular make, we know something about that subscriber just by them clicking, right? We know they probably own a Ford. They probably have a Jeep. We know something about them. We know the model. We know something. That gives us an advantage. Another reason why you want to employ email marketing, and this is really true in your industry, is to stay top of mind. I don't work in your industry. I don't pretend to be an expert, but I'm going to make some assumptions. You will certainly have a client, a customer, and hopefully they become a repeat, right? And hopefully they become a referral. But the way that you leverage the relationship you have with that customer, now, I'm assuming a lot of you build relationships in the shop, and there's probably a lot of interaction you have with a customer beyond the time that you do something for them. But you want to stay top of mind, right? Just reminding them of what you got going on, what you're offering. And again, that's where education really helps. And it helps build your brand, it helps build your credibility. And this is also a key piece to referrals, because I want to go on a hypothetical with you. I send out an email, and in that email, I've got some kits, I got some engines, but I also have a little piece of education, something around gaskets, or a little piece of education, throwing out some free education. What is a customer? Maybe they spent money with you in the past, they get an email. What are they most likely going to share that email with somebody for? Well, maybe the engines, maybe the service, right? But they're probably going to share the education. And that's also going to help you stay sticky and stay top of mind. According to 80% of professionals, email marketing drives customer acquisition and retention. It does. I started at Constant Contact. One of the first things I ever heard from a customer was email marketing's dead. Facebook's going to take over. Well, guess what? We're still here. Email marketing is still valid. And I'm going to kind of prove that out to you. And in that brings me to, where are emails being read? I don't think any of you are going to slap your head. This is not a surprise. Where are they being read? Well, 91% of people check their email daily. I think that number is actually low, and 88% of them check it on their smartphone. You probably checked your email on your smartphone. Some of you are probably looking at your smartphone right now. That's really important, though, because we really think about what app you use the most, what app your customers use the most. It's probably your email app. We don't think of it like an app, but it is an app. We're in that thing all the time. We're seeing what customers are saying, we're seeing what our loved ones are saying. We're checking on our business. We're checking on each other through our inbox, through our email. Guess who else is doing that? Clients and prospects. And so we need to meet them where they are. And the reason why that's important to be respectful of is because of time. Attention spans have really decreased thanks to smartphones. The average time a person spends reading an email is about 9 seconds. Challenge you, the next time you're on your phone looking at an email, just pay attention to how long you're actually reading the email. I'd be willing to bet you're not actually reading the email. You're scanning it, you're skimming it, you're looking for pieces of information that are important and relevant to you, and then you're either leaving that email or you're taking the next step. And that next step is really important. So here is how we conquer that mentality of short attention spans. When you are building email marketing, and this is true whether you use Constant Contact or not, again, I'd love for you to use Constant Contact, but if you're not, this is true. Keep this to heart. You want to keep your email as simple as possible. No more than about 25 lines of text. No more than about 3 images. I think you can go a little over that in your industry, but I wouldn't go much more than 8 images, not including your logo. You want to make sure you use something called buttons. Now, buttons in our terminology at Constant Contact, it is a button, but it does something really unique, and I'm going to show it to you when I do my demo. If you have video, use video. It doesn't have to be high-end glossy video. If you want to do a little bit of education from the shop floor using your smartphone, that is perfectly applicable. And you want to make sure that if you're going to send out email marketing, and I did see some examples of this when I looked through the member database, you don't want to make your email 100% image, meaning you have somebody work up a flyer for you and you just decide, oh, I'm going to blast this out through email. You don't want to make an email 100% image, because it's going to end up in the spam filter about 25% of the time. When you employ images in your email, you should always link them. So let's break this down, and then I'll explain why we need to link images. The reason why images are really powerful is because they speak 1,000 words. So if you're trying to keep your email really simple, if you're trying to keep your email in mind that people are only spending 9 seconds in the email, well, then an image speaks 1,000 words. That's 1,000 words I don't have to use. A video speaks 1,000 images. You want to keep that video down to about 2 minutes max, but those pieces, images, buttons, and videos, and keeping our text really simple is going to mean that people can get in and out of the email as quickly as possible. And we want them to get in and out of the email as quickly as possible. And the way they do that is they click. So why would we want to have clickable images? Well, because they're big and they're really easy to click on, especially on a smartphone. Also, people have been trained that most images are clickable. If you go to a website, you'd probably inherently try to click on an image just naturally. But we're going to also give people another way to click, and that's actually can be seen in this graphic. So I could click on this image, but we're also giving them the ability to click on a button, and that's when I mentioned a button. That's what a button does. They do the same thing. If I click on this, I'm going to go to the same places if I click on this. And so we want to leverage both of those pieces to get people somewhere as quickly as possible. Why? Because clicks is the real reason you want to do this. Clicks tells you exactly what the subscriber was interested in. So I know something really specific about them. I know what engine they need. I know what kits they need. I know what supplies they need. I know a lot more about them. I also know that they're engaged, right? If they're clicking, I know they opened the email. I know they read the email, and I know specifically what they read. It also gives you some idea of your design. So if you're seeing one particular product clicked on more than the other, okay, I'm going to put more of this product in my emails in the future. This is really resonating with this audience. Now, in a kind of advanced thing, you can also collate the clickers, meaning I could group together groups of people based on what they clicked on. So if they're clicking on different make and model engines or make and model supplies, I could group them together by make and model. So you're probably doing that through a point of sale system already, but this is yet another way to break people up. And you could send them specific information about that particular make, model, or whatever. That allows you to give focused content that allows you to give the best content possible. And this is how you really leverage the power of a tool like Constant Contact and make you more money. Because of attention spans, people expect content to be relevant to them. And the way that you can send relevant email is by breaking people up into smaller groups. But all of what I've shared so far is garbage if they don't open the email in the first place. If they don't open the email, who cares how long the email is? Who cares? Well, if I have clickable links or buttons or whatever, doesn't matter, right? So first thing to know about subject lines is they are read on mobile, and that means short attention spans. They are scanned in a split second. And so when I teach this course, most people walk in assuming that in the inbox, what's seen on that Gmail app, that Outlook app, on the computer, Yahoo, whatever people are using, that the subject line is the end-all be-all reason why emails get opened. It is not. It is who sent the email. I challenge you after today's webinar to look in your inbox. You're probably not going subject line to subject line to subject line. You're going who sent this to me, who sent this to me, who sent this to me. Then you're looking at the subject line. But a lot of folks also don't even know what pre-header text is, and I'd be willing to bet you read it all the time. So let's break down what these three pieces are. The from name is who sent the email. The subject line is usually underneath or to the right of the sender's name. And then there's this little bit of text that appears either underneath or aside the subject line. So pre-header text generally, if you didn't attend a session like this, is generally the first sentence of your email. Generally, the first sentence of your email is not really that interesting and insightful. In fact, the most common first sentence of an email is having trouble seeing this email. Well, that's what it would appear in their inbox. And so Constant Contact enables you to change the from name, obviously change the subject line, but you can even change the pre-header text. So what I'm doing here is I'm giving people a tease. I'm giving them just a little bit of information, forcing them, encouraging them to further open the email. So the from name is the most critical piece. For most of you, that's going to be your shop name. That's going to be what's most recognizable to your audience. Now, I would not be surprised to see that you are the shop. The shop's named after you. You're the brand. You're the guy, right? Okay, you're the brand. Have it come from you. That's what people know. But for the most part, probably your shop's going to be the most recognizable name, and that's what you'd want to use. You want to keep your subject line short, 4 to 7 words, and your pre-header text to about 5 to 8 words. Now, what I'm going to share with you next is a couple of subject line ideas. These have been proven to be successful. I would always test assumptions. I'm going to show you how to do that in my demonstration today. Emojis are very powerful. Now, some people hate emojis, some people love emojis. If you use an emoji in the subject line, the reason why it's powerful is because it's noticeable. Remember, people are only spending a couple of seconds in an inbox. And so the quicker we can get them to pay attention, the better. And emojis do that. You'd obviously want to choose an emoji that relates to your business like I'm showing here. And you want to make sure that you're leveraging it so that your pre-header text refers to what your emoji is about. You want to make sure those are tied together. Now, for subject line ideas, one of my favorites is questions. Write your subject line as a question. It's not very hard to write a subject line as a question. It doesn't require a lot of super creativity. The benefit is the only way a question can be answered via email is by somebody opening your email. You can also employ a fear of missing out, FOMO, right? So you want to employ this carefully, but you can employ a fear of missing out on folks. Lists is my second favorite. So if you give people 4 tips, 4 ideas, 4 things, 3 ways, 7 ideas, stuff like that, that's really powerful because it takes into account that people are busy. Like, I've got enough time to read 3 tips, right? Another benefit is that you can encourage people to open up. I want to read the 3 tips. And then you can actually only give them 2 and have them click to a website to find out more. And so you just got the click. You can also employ a sense of urgency, much like a fear of missing out. Employ a little bit of urgency. You just don't want to play it too hard. Humor does play pretty well, and I have to assume it probably work in your industry. You just want to make sure it's going to be not flagged as spam. And you can also command people politely, but you can command them. Now, I doubt you are writing all of this down. You, 1, know that this is being recorded. And 2, I'd never tell you to just trust my suggestions. Trust your audience. I'm going to teach you how to do that in my demonstration. Things to avoid. You want to avoid words you'd see in a spam. So free, guarantee, spam, savings, dollars, money, mortgages. You're going to use that. Writing in all caps. Don't write in all caps. Spammers write in all caps. You don't want to do that. And you want to avoid triple punctuation. So triple exclamation points. You also want to try to keep just your punctuation down to 2 pieces of punctuation. All of these things will make your email end up in the spam folder or somebody marking you as spam. But this one in particular, you're going to go to the spam filter. So you're building an email and nobody's getting it. 69% of recipients say the subject line is what makes them decide they're going to mark something as spam. So you want to make sure you use some common sense. If it's something you've seen in the spam, don't use it. Next, all of this is for not if you don't have a list. And even if you have a list, you should be growing your list because, again, anybody that's giving you their contact information is already sold on you. They already know what you do. And when I say sold, they're sold on your concept. They're sold on your brand. They may not have bought from you right now, but they already know you. And so you want to be growing your list. So there's a couple of different strategies in growing your email marketing list. Within the constant contact world, there's lead generation landing pages, which is something I'm going to show you. There's a list builder app. I'm going to show you that in slides. And then website sign-up forms, like you see here. You see this website sign-up form that popped up. And this is a real member. And this is their real pop-up. And you can see they're actually employing something really important. A lot of organizations make signing up for an email list all about them. Like it's you telling them what you're going to do, right? It's not about what's in it for them. So if you can make, when you're asking for people's email addresses, whether that's on social media, if that's on your website, if that's in person, if you can incentivize them somehow, you're going to make it all about them. So now that doesn't necessarily mean you're looking at your overhead. I can't cut 10% off or whatever. Well, okay, it doesn't have to be money, but this is all about attracting a lead. Okay, so without being in your industry, I'm going to give you some ideas of what I think could work in your industry. So first would be a discount, 10% off your first order, whatever. That is a classic lead magnet. If you have the ability, if you have the margins to do that, that will work. All of this kind of falls under the idea of making these people feel special, exclusive, right? And so you don't offer this to the general public. And in fact, you only give them the discount after they sign up. You fire them a welcome email. We'll talk about that with a code or some sort of tracking mechanism for you. But you make them feel special. They're getting something that not everybody gets. Another thing that could work in your industry is knowledge. So guides, checklists, top 10 tips, something like that. I don't know how many of you do this, but if you do any kind of training, you can offer unique member training or something of that nature. And then any kind of testimonial, case study, information from an actual customer. It's always really powerful, especially if you're going after like a particular make and model, a particular vertical. If that's your expertise, that might play for you. When you're encouraging people to join your list, you want to make sure that your lead magnet, whatever you decide to do, if that's a discount, if that's making them feel like a club or whatever you're doing, you make sure that that's noticeable on your form. So this is an intake form. This is one of the that can be generated in Constant Contact. You want to make it clear they're going to be receiving something special. You want to keep the form simple. So you don't want to ask like 28 questions, what's your grandmother's first name? Keep it simple. You just need the email address, first name and last name. Now, in your industry, I would probably ask for make and model or other information that might help you to send better marketing. And you'll need to have privacy policy and terms of service. Now, the good news is that's built into Constant Contact. You don't have to think about that. We actually include that. Now, another strategy I thought would actually work well in your industry is in person. So Constant Contact, I can't speak for our competitors. Maybe they have it, maybe they don't. I don't know. Constant Contact offers something called the List Builder app. This is a free app, can be found on Apple and Android, various stores. This is for tablets only. And what this does is it allows people to subscribe holding the tablet. So you hand them the tablet, they put in the information. It's completely customizable. You can make it look like your shop with your logo. You can ask whatever information you want. The benefit is you're not having to read people's handwritten, chicken scratch email addresses. You're not having to have staff do any work. It's all just being added automatically right into Constant Contact for you. Doesn't matter if you have Wi-Fi or not. It's going to upload as soon as it connects to Wi-Fi. Really great if you're doing any kind of trade shows. Honestly, not the worst idea. If you're not collecting information at their point of sale, which you probably are, but if you're not, have that tablet sitting out there. And this goes into another thing, and hopefully I've done a good job. You don't do any of this if it doesn't feel important to you. Like, if it's important to you and you've kind of got the idea that, wow, every contact really matters, well, make sure the frontline staff, anybody answering the phone, hey, can I get your first name, last name, phone number, and email address? That should be a part of your DNA, because that $36 ROI won't happen if you don't collect people's contact information. A couple other ways Constant Contact helps you grow your list. If you have a website, we have website tools. So we have a pop-up. That's kind of, I showed you from another member. That will pop up. You can create that, offer whatever you want, collect information. We have flyouts, and flyouts are a little less obtrusive than a pop-up. They kind of fly out of the top or bottom. We have banners. Banners just kind of live at the top or bottom of your page. And we have inline forms. These are forms that actually live on your website. Now, when people join your list, that's great. At some point, you're going to email them, or you can tie it to automation. So there's a couple of flavors of automation within Constant Contact, and one of them, whether you're using us or not, make sure, if you're using somebody else, make sure you've set this up. Welcome email. A welcome email is sent automatically the second somebody signs up. So if they're signing up on social media, if they're signing up on your website, if they're signing up through a tablet, if they're signing up through a form, if you're adding them through your point of sale system, you want to send them a welcome email. That's because the welcome email generates 320% more revenue per subscriber than not just a regular old email. The reason for that is because if they're signing up, they're expecting an email. So what would we want to share in that email? Well, we'd want to share that discount. We'd want to share that offer. We want to make sure we're driving them to our website. They're really actively thinking about us that second. So make sure you set up a welcome email in Constant Contact or whatever tool you're using. I'll show you how to do it in Constant Contact. Automated emails in general have a 616% higher click rate. That is because automation is very closely tied to sending targeted emails. So when you go back to that example, if I'm sharing an engine for a Honda and somebody clicks on this Honda engine, I know something about them. Maybe I send them some other Honda supplies, some other Honda tips, whatever. That's targeting. That's sending them relevant information, and that's why automation is really powerful, is because you don't have to sit there and think about this. Just set it up and forget it. So let's break these down a little bit further. The welcome email is triggered when somebody joins your list or when you add somebody to your list. It's a great time for you to set expectations on what they're going to see in the future, and it is sent immediately after sign up. The birthday and anniversary trigger is another thing we offer. Always a good idea to have a good relationship with your subscribers, your customers. Send them a automated birthday greeting. An anniversary email isn't necessarily like a happy wedding anniversary. It's an anniversary of your business relationship. And it could also be used as an annual reminder if that's something that would help your particular use case. And then there's series. So a series can be up to 40 emails automatically sent out on whatever timeline you want. So maybe I send a welcome email, then I wait 2 weeks and I send another email, and I wait a month and I send another email. Maybe I send them monthly. This is really great if you want to start to collect your subscribers into smaller groups. Maybe you just create some educational content. Maybe it runs for 6 emails, and you have it spaced out across the year, across 6 months. It's a great way to save you time sitting behind the desk, but also reaching your customers, reaching your leads, right? And this is also what helps build your referral business. So with that, let me do a very quick demo of Constant Contact. I'm going to highlight a couple of the things that I talked about earlier. So firstly, Constant Contact is much more than email. We've got text marketing, email automation, social media. You can post directly to Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and LinkedIn all in one spot. If you do buy advertising on social media, we do that, but we actually add a nice kicker to that. We have the events tool. That's probably not going to be for you guys. We do also offer surveys. I want to just briefly talk about landing pages because, if you're struggling to get your website updated, if it's hard for you to get material on your website, and I keep talking about the importance of getting clicks, and well, I don't have anything for people to click to. Well, landing pages are just little mini one-page websites that Constant Contact will host for you. So you could have a flash sale. You could offer something you just got off the truck, or just a brand new service because you just hired a new a builder. Like whatever the use case is, you could build this like one mini website to promote it through social media, through email. It's a great included service in Constant Contact. Websites and stores is not going to be available to you when you get a Constant Contact account. This is a legacy account. But if I go to email, we have templates already set up for you. You pick out what you want to do. You pick out kind of a look and feel. You can change the logo and the colors. Obviously, put in your content. That's a way to get you started. And then if you want to do it from scratch, we've got layouts for you. You just choose the layout, select it. And what I did is to save us a little bit of time because we only have an hour together and nobody wants to sit in a whole hour of email marketing. So I pre-built an email for us today, and let me go into that. So I selected a blank template, and then I just added in some brand and some messaging. Now, how realistic this is, I don't know your industry. I took a guess. I did look at a couple of members' websites to get it as approximate as I could. But this is the email itself, and you can see how these little areas are lighting up. These are called blocks, right? And all I want to do is I want to stack blocks on top of each other. So if I want to have some text, like let's add text right here under the shop picture. Now I simply go in and I type in the text, or I copy and paste the text, and it's familiar, like Microsoft Word. If I want to have, let's say, a button, so people can go click on a particular product, I just drag on the button, click on it, and I can link it to a web page. I'm going to show you a little bit more on that in a second. Let's delete these. Let's say I want to have an image. I want to have another image. Figure out where I'm going to put it. Replace it. I upload an image. I can connect it to my phone actually, so the images go directly in. And then I simply just select the image I want. After I upload it, now the image is in place. I can make it bigger, smaller. You also have the ability to put things side by side. So I can put text next to text, lower. So really, like it can be as simple as you want it to be. It can be as stylish as you want it to be. If you have a creative mind, or you have some folks working with you that are creative, it can be a very creative email, but it's also very intuitive and very simple to do. I can undo my work, so if I make a mistake, I don't really like how that looks, I can do that, and I can preview it. So you see I have a couple of products side by side here. I go to preview, and I can see, those best practices I talked about earlier about keeping that email short, that 9-second attention span. Well, here is the PC, desktop, Mac version. Here is the mobile version. You can see things that are side by side are automatically stacked for me. Really nice, professional looking email. Now, I actually cheated on this email. I'll show you how. So while this is actual text, this is a cheat. So what I did is I used this block called read more. And what I did, let me actually grab this address, is, as I said, I went to a member site to gather intel and images and etc. And Titan here in Central Florida, they have these pages based for each product, right? So I just copied the address for that page, and I clicked edit, hit insert. It actually built the article for me. I didn't have to type in any of this. You just saw it happen. And even though I typed it in, I can change it. So if I want to change some of the text down a little bit, if I want to change this and put in a price point or whatever I want to do, I can still change that text. I can even move these pieces around so that they take up a little less space maybe. And that's exactly what I did through this entire email. I didn't type any of this. This is all directly from their site. So when I talk about it being intuitive, it's also really easy to do. Now I'm going to take you down a little advanced route, but it's an important advanced route. So let's say that I have a link in here to visit our website or check out this engine or whatever, right? If I click on it, I can change the text so I can have it say something else. But when I go to link, you know, I've been talking about clicks and clicks and clicks and clicks. Well, if I click web page, this is how I add a link. So if I want people to go to my website, I simply put in the website address or put in the link to the page I want them to go to. And I can hit insert, and now when they click on that button or they click on the image or they click on some text, they're going to go there. But we have this feature called click segmentation, no extra charge. And what this does is when people click on the link, they can have their contact information copied into a new list. Now, why is that? Why am I spending a minute teaching you this? Because if you have products based around different makes, models, right, and I know you do, we can automatically, Constant Contact can automatically put it into a Honda list. It can automatically put it into a Nissan list. It can automatically put it into a Jeep list, right? You could even have it per make, per model, right? Or per side, whatever. You know, we can break up your list for you just by turning on click segmentation. It's one of the most powerful tools in Constant Contact. Now for images, same idea. I just click the link, put in the address fee, it's exactly the same. And that's how you click an image. And that's how you build your business, almost. Next thing I'm gonna show you is up here at the top. We talked about subject lines. I told you, hey, don't write down those subject line ideas. I actually think they're good subject line ideas. But if you're really stuck, we actually will suggest subject lines to you. And it's based on the content of your email. It's based on your industry. It's also based on business. And I'll have an almost infinite number of subject lines to choose from. Now, because I'm broadcasting right now, bandwidth's a little slow. I just simply choose the one I want. If I don't want it, I can type my own in. We also do the same thing for pre-header text. Now, when I talk about test your assumptions, one thing that comes in everything else I've talked to you about today is included in our base plan, starts around $9 with your discounts. One thing that's in our advanced plan is, amongst other things, is A/B split test. This allows you to test your assumptions. You can put in 2 different subject lines, and Constant Contact will randomly select your contacts and test the subject line with them. So if they open and click it, we'll tell you which subject line performed the best for you, and then we'll send the remaining amount of your list, whatever subject line worked best. And that's how you test your assumptions. But you choose a list, you hit schedule, that email goes out. Now, let me show you where the money is. All right, so I've told you how to make the money. Now let me show you where it actually lives. After about 2 days, you come into this page, into the reporting. This is all high-level information about how people interacted with my emails across this time frame. But we're going to scoot on down here to these are all the emails I sent. These are how many of those were opened, how many links inside the email were clicked on, et cetera, et cetera. And if I pull up one specific email, all right, this breaks down this one email for me. How to perform? Well, I send 105 of these emails. 57% of my audience opened it. 20% clicked on links. If I go right here, these are the links they clicked on. These are the people that clicked on it. This is where the money is. So I, of course, encourage you to use that click segmentation feature. If you're using Constant Contact, if you're not, find out if whatever you're using does that. This is where the money is. Knowing what people are interested in reading and acting on, you do follow up to them, right? Especially if they're not customers. If you don't really know too much about them, you grow your list, you get as much information as you can, and then you use these kind of reports to determine what you need to be sending to what people. You'll also learn more about your customer and leads base, because you can blast out whatever you want, and that can be through email and print, etc. But knowledge is power, and knowledge is more money for you. And knowing more about your leads especially, right, allows you to target them and give them information that's relevant to them. And that's what brings them into the shop, and you build that relationship and you get that referral. So with these, I can select these people And I can shoot them off a quick email and say, hey, by the way, I have a Honda blah, blah, blah on sale. I don't know, I own a Honda, so that's probably why I keep going to Honda. But yeah, I've got something on sale right now that'll help you, or this is new in the shop, or I got this guy. You shoot them off a quick email, or you can add them to a list. And if you wanted, you take it up a notch. And you can create automation. So when you add them to the list, I just send it to anytime anybody joins any list. I send it immediately, and I either build a new email or I copy an email. Once I build or copy an email, and when I say copy an email, maybe you build your email beforehand. So if I copy an email and I go, I built one, a welcome email, hit save, I activate that, and anytime somebody's coming into my list, boom, I'm sending them off that welcome email, or maybe I send them off a series. And speaking of anybody coming in, let me show you how to get people to sign up for your emails in the couple of different ways that I showed you in the slides. So we've got pop-up forms, flyouts, banners. I described what these are. This does require a little bit of coding, so if you're not the one working behind the scenes on your website, you'll need to get them involved. Not very hard work, but there's going to be some code involved there. And the lead generation landing page doesn't require any coding. And in fact, I created one for you. All you need to do is just dress it up. So you find your logo, upload it if it's not already in here. It is already in here, so I'm going to use that. Maybe you want to change what you're offering these people. So, I'm offering a special offer. Maybe you offer, that's the lead magnet. Remember I talked about that earlier? And maybe I change the design. So I'm going to change the color scheme. I want this to be black and this to be white. World's your oyster as far as design. But the real important parts are right here. So contact fields, I can ask for information. I can force people to give me information. And settings. So what list do I want these people to go into? And so this is important because, as I'll show you in a second, when you're using this, you can have as many of these forms living in the world as you want. So you can have one just made for Facebook, one just made for events, one just made for the signature line of your receipts or something like that, right? And so you can tailor what you're offering people based on where they're going to see this form. And so I may want it to go to different lists based on where I've got this form living out in the world. Another thing you probably want to think through is, what are you going to offer them as a thank you? So you could just give them a thanks. We'll be in touch. You can offer them a file download so they can download whatever you want to share with them, a checklist. You can have them go to a page of your website. And then you could also offer them a gift card. And this is not a gift card you pay for. There is a company out there called NIF that will give $35 gift cards to non-competing businesses as a way to generate traffic for those non-competing businesses. So that other business is paying for it. That restaurant down the street is paying for it. Your subscribers get the benefit of a $35 gift card. Once you do whatever you're going to do here, you hit activate. Constant Contact's going to host that form for you. And that is one way you can grow your list, and you employ all the best practices that I talked to you about earlier, and you start growing your business, making some money, cutting through those time-starved people that are not paying enough attention and they're all distracted on their devices. But with that, let's open it back up to Rob, see if we have any questions in the background.
Super, Matthew. Excellent presentation. You can tell, I mean, this is one powerful tool, and I know you're just touching on some of the introductory stuff. So
tip of the iceberg.
Very, very powerful tool. Well, and thank you for catering and tailoring this to our industry. I mean, I know you do lots of webinars, and to spend the time to actually tailor it and make it relevant to what our members are working on is much appreciated. So there's a few questions that have come in, and the first is, you mentioned open rate versus click rate. Can you explain what those are and what is considered good?
Yeah, so open rate is the number of people that opened an email. So you sent the email to people, right? And it's a percentage of the people that opened the email. Click rate is the percentage of people that clicked on links, though you sent the email to them. It's a percentage of people that clicked on links in your email. So the first thing I'll say is that most people out there assume that the open rate is the most important thing to pay attention to. And if you're using a competitor, if you're using Constant Contact, you're probably, if you're looking at your reports, you're probably like, yeah, we got a 20% open rate. Yeah, you're feeling good about that. Open rate is garbage. The reason why it's garbage is kind of two reasons. One is it doesn't prove anything. Somebody may have opened the email and immediately closed it. You can't pat yourself on the back for that, right? You can't pat yourself on the back for that. It also, Apple, about 2 years ago, Apple, any device that an email lands on, that's on a phone, that's on a watch, that's on a computer, tablet, it kind of automatically opens it. It counts it as an open. And so you got a lot of false positives. Click rate is the metric to pay attention to. It proves the email was delivered. It proves it was opened. It proves it was read, and it proves what they were interested in. So the number you really want to be paying attention to is click rate. So let me quickly look up. I'm looking up an article. So this is Constant Contact's knowledge base, and this can be found in the top right-hand corner of every page of Constant Contact. And we built out the industry averages every single month for you. So I didn't prepare for this beforehand, so I'm going to quickly see if I can find where you'd be. Maybe manufacturing, distribution, repair and maintenance. I think between these two. So the average open is 30%, a little lower for manufacturing. 93.93 clicks, a little higher for this grouping. I'm gonna assume this is more kind of like a B2B, like factory manufacturing. This feels a little more like your wheelhouse. And then this is the bounce rate. So this is how many people, how many fake email addresses, bad email addresses you have, how many email addresses are bouncing back as bad. So really high here. That even suggests more of, like I said, a brick and mortar type of factory manufacturing. This is what I would expect in your industry. And so there you go. Great question.
Okay, all right. And sort of touching, another question that kind of just touches base on that a little bit is, if I have emails older than 2 years, can I still send them an email? What do I do if it bounces?
If they're older, I would go ahead and send it out. Just, you need to kind of understand that there's a decent chance that that person is no longer at that email address, especially if it's a company-based email address. Like I said, the shelf life of an email address is roughly 2 years. Now that is for email addresses you've not emailed to. So if they're just stagnant, the return on those email addresses is going to be mitigated. They haven't heard from you before in this way. If they bounce, you have the ability through Constant Contact to repair the bounce. And so hopefully I didn't close my Constant Contact window here. Here we go. So let me explain a bounce, because that's a kind of quasi-advanced idea. What a bounce is if you send out an email and something comes back, it's bounced back. So I'd be willing to bet you've sent an email in your life where you send an email out and you get a reply that somebody's on vacation for 2 weeks. Well, besides being lucky, that is a bounce, right? You send an email out and something came back. And so let me go into that particular email. So I had 6 bounces. If I go right here, Constant Contact categorizes them for me, and the bad bounces we group together, and you can see them all at once by just going recommended for removal. And what a bad bounce is non-existence. We went there, we went to the house, we knocked, there's nobody there by this name. And so what I can do is I can click on this, and let's say that I have a typo, like 2 ats, or it says .com, or 2 O's in the O. I can edit it and fix it. If I don't know this person and I don't know why it's bounced, I can just delete it. And if I'm scared that I'll accidentally add them again, I can unsubscribe them. That way I'm not even going to add them. They never got my email. They never will get my email. I don't know, and this is legit. I don't know who this is. They attended one of my classes. So I probably just unsubscribed, but I need her for training. The other kind of bounces you do want to pay attention to, but they're not as drastic. People are going to come back from vacation. But these, the email address is bad in some way. So suspended, what that means is that the email address is bounced in another Constant Contact customer's account, and for the same reasons. It's a fake, it's a typo. And so if you send to it, it's going to do the same thing. And undeliverable, that URL, that address here, that doesn't exist at all. That's not real. So that's how you do it.
Okay, super. One last question for you here, Matthew. How often should I be emailing customers so it's not too infrequent?
Great question. So generally the core meaning behind that question, in my experience, is I don't want to send too many emails. Yeah, I don't want you to send too many emails. But let me start with what I am scared of, which is you sending too few. And the reason why we worry about you sending too few is that the real power of email marketing is staying top of mind, getting referrals. Not everyone's going to need you at every second, right? And so we want to stay top of mind so that when they need us, we're there. And so you want to have a regular cadence. Now that regular cadence can be just once a month, but what you don't want to do is go like once a quarter or hit them with 3 emails this month and then take 2 months off. You want to have a regular cadence, commit to a regular cadence. Now on average, 2 emails a month is the sweet spot. I'm going to go on a limb with your industry and maybe suggest just once a month. Now, the other part of that is if you want to get more advanced. So you can send more emails if you're targeting your audience. So if you're going to just send one email out to everyone once a month, but if you're targeting your audience and you're targeting them by make, model, by age of their car, whatever it is that makes sense to your business, well, you still probably only want to send once a month, but maybe you're sending 4 emails for the various makes that you support, or 10 or whatever it is, right? So that's how you really strengthen the relationship you have with people and motivate them to take action, is by targeting. And so therefore you would be sending more, but you'd be sending to unique people, unique groupings of people.
Okay, no, that's very helpful. Because I know, because I mean, what's the bad thing if you do it too often? What will happen? What will end up? What's sort of the con?
There's 2 cons. I mean, the con everybody thinks is a con really isn't as big a con, which is, oh, they're gonna get annoyed and they're gonna unsubscribe. Well, that could happen. And they're gonna unsubscribe to you because you're sending too many emails. They probably were never gonna call you or doing business with you anyway. The real con is if you're sending that frequently, you need to ask yourself, is this content relevant? Is this content as relevant as I can make it? And that's a gut check, right? Like if you're sending an email with a variety of products and a variety of services, how can it possibly, especially across different makes and models, how can it possibly be relevant to your entire audience if you're just sending it to everyone? Not everyone's got a Jeep on your list unless that's the only model you service, right? Or the only make you service. So that's the real equation, Rob.
Okay, all right. Well, I know Amanda can. I mean, I know how powerful Constant Contact's been for us, and I know Amanda can probably chime in and just it's been a really, really powerful tool. So, Amanda, how's it working for us?
Oh, definitely. Good thing for members to know, we at AERA have used Constant Contact predating me. I've been there with the association for going on 9 years, and just the ability to reach out every week with our newsletter, let everyone know about these webinars, regionals, any of that kind of stuff. It's just been phenomenal, and it's a great way and cost-effective way to get the word out there. So if anyone does have questions following this, I can always weigh in on how it's worked for us, what we do, that kind of stuff, and try and help you guys better understand maybe how it could work for your shop as well.
Super. Well, Matthew, you've given us a lot to chew on. And if there's any questions that come in after the fact, after the webinar, we'll be sure to get those over to you if we need,
Awesome.
Need help answering on those. Super presentation. You can tell you do this quite often, and it shows. So it's much appreciated.
Well,
we'll let
listen,
you get
I
on
just want
with
your
your
members
day.
to grow and make money, and my passion is real. Like I fortunately got to meet, as you said, about 14,000 small businesses, the lifeblood of our country and our world. And so I want you to be successful, whether that's Constant Contact or not.
Well, thank you. And like I say, I know for us just how powerful it's been, and we appreciate your time, Matthew. We'll let you get on with your day.
All right.
But thanks again, much appreciated.
My pleasure. Thanks, everybody.
So I'm going to go back to Amanda here just for a minute, and we'll close things up here for you.
All right, we'll keep this quick. Just a reminder, we do put all our webinars out on YouTube. Just a great way for you guys to see what we've got going on, what we've been doing in our webinar series. So make sure you go out to AERA Engine Builders and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any of our content. We've also added a little mini series of tech videos. We've got one up there right now, and we'll be adding more to that as well. So make sure, like I said, you hit that subscribe button and check it out so you don't miss any new content out there. And then lastly, when you close out today, there will be a survey that pops up. Take a moment, fill that out, let us know how we're doing. You can ask any additional questions in there for either the folks over at Constant Contact or us here at AERA. And also, if you have anything you'd like to see in our webinar series, take a moment and let us know that as well. We're always open to your guys' ideas. We're here for you, our members. And you can see our contact information is there. You can reach anyone on the AERA team at 815-526-7600. And then my email and Rob's are listed. Again, Constant Contact has been a great tool. We appreciate that they took some time to share it with you guys. And if it is something you're interested in, make sure you're taking advantage of that member benefit and saving yourself a few dollars. And I'm happy to answer any questions you may have. So thank you once again for taking time out of your busy week. We know how precious your time is, and we truly appreciate it. We hope you guys all have a great rest of your day.